Hello everyone, it's your girl Asia from the Ray Franco channel. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to be over here talking to you guys. Like I said, I only got like 3 more topics that I want to cover. And I think I'm going to, just go through all of them, go through Big Mouth, all of them, and just, upload them because I don't really have anything else too much to talk about because, like I said, I really want to wait until I'm done watching Teen Titans so I can give my whole perspective about it. And then I'll rank the seasons for Teen Titans. I'll do the same thing for Legend of Korra. When I'm done watching Legend of Korra, I'll rank the seasons and give my whole season retrospective instead of just doing season 1 review, season 2 review. I don't want to do all that. So, because I was going to do that yesterday, I was going to talk about seasons 1 and 2 for Teen Titans because I'm done with them. But I'd rather just talk about what I could talk about in a whole season retrospective. And if I feel like I forget anything, I'll go back and watch some episodes, season 1 and 2. Right now, everything still feels fresh. I'm on season 3. I know Teen Titans has 5 seasons, so I don't think anything I will forget. Like, I know in season 1, it was mainly like a Robin season for the most part. Him and Slade, which I think is a fantastic villain, by the way. And then I feel like in season 2, they still carry that. And I did appreciate that they gave more to Beast Boy in season 2. But, I'm going to just, talk about that when I make when I make my whole Teen Titans retrospective, talk about the show, talk about the seasons. But season 2 was kind of meh, like it was. And we're going to talk about that. We will. Legend of Korra has been great. Second season was trash. I will admit that right here on camera. The second season was terrible. The last 3 episodes for the season, for season 2 for Legend of Korra, was way better than the entire season in a whole. The last 3 seasons for that season, last 3 episodes for that season, pulled me in than the entire season ever did. Book 2, Spirits, is not a good season. But anyway, like I said, I'm on season 3. Then we on to season 4, which is the last and final season. I cannot wait. Like I said, we're going to do, again, we're going to talk about we're going to just talk about the whole show in a whole when it comes to Teen Titans and Legend of Korra. And then I will do a video on, do I prefer Legend of Korra or Avatar? So we're going to do all that. Those are my new videos that's coming up. Any show that I'm watching now currently, which is the cartoon, will be what I make topics for in the future and going on. So let's get into it. So my first topic for the day, I want to talk about one of the weirdest episodes I've ever watched for American Dad. It's in season 4, episode 6, called Pulling a Double Booty. Came out in November 16, 2008. So this episode was by far the weirdest episode I ever watched for American Dad. There's like no debate. So let me give you a little rundown of what happened. So Jeff, Haley's boyfriend, which I never really understood the whole thing with Haley and Jeff. Like, even as someone who's like on season 6 for American Dad, I don't see like the chemistry or anything between Haley and Jeff. And maybe it's like, oh, they're teenagers and whatnot because they did get married, but it's like I just don't feel anything with Haley and Jeff. But I do know in this episode, Jeff broke up with Haley. He broke up with her, and Stan had to go down there and see what the fuck happened. He got on Jeff's ass for breaking up with her, saying, "Oh, my daughter was too good for you anyway. You're a loser." Haley in the mall, and she's just destroying shit. She's just destroying everything. And I love that they did little things from King Kong, like she was on top of some pole, and it's like something coming towards her, and she just crushed it like she's King Kong or some shit. And Francine told Stan that they need to stop Haley from dating because every time she dates, she loses herself in a relationship. Like, she just doesn't handle breakups. So there was a flashback when Haley was a kid in preschool where she had a little boyfriend, and he put her on her notebook and everything like that. A new girl walked in, and her boyfriend all of a sudden was like, "Oh, I'm scrapping your name off my book, and we're gonna put this new girl on it." Haley went ballistic. She went insane. She fucked that nigga up, fucked the bitch up, fucked everybody up in the classroom. Like, she just went crazy. Like the jump said, I went crazy. She went bananas. She went banana, nana, 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 bananas. She went bananas. So Francine and Stan said they feel like the best thing for Haley is to not jump in another relationship so quickly because she loses herself in relationships. She does not handle being broken up with very well. And Francine told Stan that the police said that if Haley destroys, a mall or anything again, they're gonna have to lock her up. So I think it's so crazy because she had a bracelet around her ankle for house arrest, but then she was still going outside, so that was just weird. And Stan said that it's not that she loses herself in a relationship or that she can't handle being broken up with. It's just that she dates the wrong guys, like she dates losers. He said if she dated someone like himself, she wouldn't have so much stress. Like if she dated a man, like basically saying if she dated, oh my God, it's so weird. He said if his daughter Haley dated a man like him, who has a job, has a good head on his shoulders, and has to, whatever, she wouldn't be so stressed. So there was a scene in the episode where Haley, she was like getting a hot dog from the hot dog stand, and the guy was like, oh, I threw on some, he said, it's on the house, and asked her for her number, and Haley was like, sure. Stan come down from a fucking helicopter and go tell Haley. He said this is what happened last time. He said you keep dating losers. He said, and this is what's going to happen. He told her that you're not dating any losers as long as you live underneath my roof, period. So he's like forbidding her from dating. If she doesn't bring home a good guy, she cannot date them. So she went to work and went to go pour some she poured this nigga salad on top of his head. But there's a twist. The Stan that she thinks is her dad is not her dad. So apparently at Stan's job, he's a CIA agent, they make duplicates of all their employees so the duplicates can work for them in the CIA when all their original employees go home so the work can get done faster. Stan didn't know that he had a duplicate, or did he? I don't really remember too much. I don't think he knew that he had a duplicate because I don't think he knew he had a duplicate. So when they go back to the house, Stan and the duplicate of Stan and Haley, Francine walking past Haley's bedroom and the door is like, with a creak open, and she just thinks it's Stan and Haley in the bed making out. So she just faints and go downstairs, and Stan is down there talking to Roger and talks about, Francine been hiding all the cookie dough, and he said that, he gonna always find out the hottest spots because he got a sweet tooth. Francine come downstairs and call this nigga a disgusting piece of shit, saying you should be locked up in jail, and he said he couldn't help himself, it was just so sweet and tempting. That is hilarious, actually. And he said, right, Roger? Roger was like, yeah. He said, I stuck my fingers up in there. So, Francine they don't even know what the fuck Francine's talking about. Francine told Stan, she said, you should be in jail, you disgusting piece of shit. She went to go slap this nigga, and Haley came downstairs with a duplicate of Stan. And Francine was like, she said, you was upstairs in bed with someone who looks like your dad. And she threw up in the trash can. Stan was like, what's going on? Haley said when she went to go to his job to tell him that he cannot control her life and cannot control who she can and cannot date, she said she thought the duplicate Stan was her father, but instead it's just a duplicate of him. And I think they was like, you don't think it's weird that you're kissing someone who looks exactly like your dad? She said at first it was, but she said no. She said it's not weird at all. This episode is so weird to me because I feel like Haley always kind of been a little off, and I feel like this episode, was to tackle on her daddy issues because she does have daddy issues with Stan, right? Because I don't know if y'all might agree, but I feel like she always, went after Jess to get a rise out of Stan because You know, whenever Stan sees Jeff, it's always on 10. He cannot stand that nigga. He always calling him a loser, calling him all types of shit. And, you know, Haley still went out with him even though Stan does not approve of Jeff. And I think it's because, you know, like they say, when you tell a teenager girl that their boyfriend ain't shit or whatever, it just throws them in the hands of the man. But I feel like Haley do like Jeff, and then sometimes I feel like she's really always with him to get a rise out of Stan. Like, I feel like sometimes she don't really fuck with him for real, because that's just how I be feeling. And, you know, Stan thought it was great that she was dating someone like him because, you know, he has a good job and he all types of things. Like, for him to be like, it's cool for his daughter to date someone who looks just like him, it's wild as shit, right? So when they was at the beach and Haley and duplicate Stan was like making out or whatever, Stan told Francine he's so happy for Haley. He said because she finally found someone who was actually worthy of her time. Francine still can't get her head around why would Haley date someone who looks exactly like her father. Like I said, Haley always been kind of weird and kind of like, you know. And then Stan was in the water with duplicate Stan talk about, oh, Francine, look at her, she's so hot, and was like, you know, his wife is sexy and shit. And then duplicate Stan was like, yeah. So then that's when duplicate Stan started hitting on Francine. He tried to pretend like he was Stan. He came home and was like trying to be like, oh, sexy with Francine. Was like, let's go upstairs and have some sex. Francine was like, sure, let me just wrap up down here with this food. Let's go upstairs. Then Stan actually walks in the house and Francine said, shouldn't you be upstairs? He said, what are you talking about, woman? He said, I just got off work. And she said, well, if you getting off work, who was that? They said, oh, duplicate Stan. Duplicate Stan in the bed, damn near naked, talk about, ooh, he said threesome is fine by me. They kicked this nigga out and told him that he needed to stay away from Haley and never come back around. Francine went into panic mode because she said, how the hell are we going to tell Haley that her boyfriend did this? She cannot handle breakup. And Stan said that baby's going to have to do what they're going to have to do. So Stan pretended to be duplicate Stan, and him and Haley booked a fucking getaway for her and duplicate Stan. So they're going to the hotel, and Haley is trying her hardest to, like, have sex. Like, she keeps telling, like, this is her father. Her father pretended to be her boyfriend, right? And she, like, keeps trying to, like, do sexy shit, and, you know, he just ain't on that because, you know, this is her dad. So, you know, she all, like, you know, let's go back upstairs and have sex and shit like that. And he tried to do something to get her mad to break up with him. He was like, oh, that waitress over there is hot. And Haley was like, oh, you should totally ask her if she want to have sex with us. She said we could have a total threesome. And then Stan was like, no, never mind. But then when they was like walking, I think some type of hike or some shit like that, Haley told Stan, who she thinks is her boyfriend, that she loves him. And you know, this is her dad, and he couldn't say it back. And she said, you can't say it back, can you? She said, it is my dad. She said, my dad never tells me that he loves me. And she said, it's irritating. She didn't say it's irritating, but, you know, I could tell that it's irritating. And it also hurts her that her father never tells her that he loves her. And I think that is why she throws herself in relationships, to get that validation, that love and appreciation that she doesn't get from her father. So she gets it from guys that, you know, will love her, whether it's Jeff or anyone. She just wants that validation that she does not get from Stan. And Stan was like, I'm pretty sure he does love you, even though he doesn't say it. And she said, sometimes I wish he could so I could stop feeling so horrible. And that's when Stan, you know, came out and just said that, you know, that he is not her boyfriend, he is her father. And that her boyfriend Stan tried to hit on Francine, and they had to kick him out, and she said that she's not upset. And the episode ended with her and Stan, you know, hanging out more, and I think it ended with him finally telling his daughter that he loved her. So, hold on, need some water, y'all. Other than the episode ending on a really good note, this episode is definitely one of the weirdest episodes I ever watched for American Dad, because it's just like Haley could have dated any other guy, and she dated a man who looked exactly like her father. Huh? That is so odd. But as always, if I was y'all, I'll check this episode out to get my own retrospective. It's season 4, episode 6, called Pulling a Double Booty. It's funny, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, the entire time you're going to be saying, what the fuck? But, as always, it is nice talking to y'all. Catch you guys later.